Welcome back. It's the first edition in 2025 of Road Trip Ramblings. I'm Luke Moehle, Pelicans broadcaster. Today we have a very special guest. We have right-handed reliever Brayden Spears. Brayden, thanks for taking the time. And how are we doing?
Of course, thanks for having me on. Doing good. Doing good.
We've got some rapid fire questions, so you can start thinking about it here in a little bit when we wrap this up. I'll ask you some of your favorite spots that you've been to. I know we haven't been everywhere, but we won't get into that. But start thinking now. Let's go all the way back to the very beginning. What was your first introduction to baseball? That whether that was playing ball just in the backyard or whether that was watching on TV. What really piqued your interest and got you started in baseball?
Um, well, I mean, I started playing baseball when I was really little, probably three or four T-ball. But like one of my first, I guess, baseball memories, other than playing, was watching Barry Bonds hit 756. I was like sitting on a table. I remember like sitting on the table watching the TV in my kitchen, like kind of kicking my feet off the table, watching him hit a home run. And at that point, I was like, I don't really understand what's going on here, but whatever that is, I want to do that. And so kind of ever since then, I've kind of been in love with baseball, but that's like one of my earliest baseball memories, other than playing, is watching Bonds hit 756.
Did you grow up a fan of the Giants? I know you're from Antioch, California. So
hmm
Giants all the way.
Yeah, huge Giants fan. Um, yeah, we had season tickets from like 2010 to 18 or 19, I want to say. So we didn't miss a playoff game through the that 5-year run of 2010 to 2014. We were at every playoff game, every home World Series game. I saw some pretty crazy stuff there. So yeah, I was a diehard Giants fan when I was younger.
That one's at the top of my bucket list in terms of stadiums that I haven't been to that I need to go.
Unreal.
It's at number one at the moment. I've had the chance to go to the really old ballparks,
hmm
like Fenway, like Wrigley,
Yeah.
awesome ballparks. But that one has a special feel to it as well.
Yeah, it's a beautiful yard. It's cool.
Um, well, when you were growing up, talk to me a little bit about the baseball environment that was around you, and were you participating in any other sports at the time when you were coming up?
Oh yeah. Well, baseball, I'm from California, so baseball is just a very popular sport. It's kind of everybody plays baseball, especially growing up. So we had a lot of different travel teams in the city. There's probably like five or six like major travel organizations that had baseball, like travel baseball teams. So baseball we're always playing baseball. Everyone played baseball. It was kind of what everyone did. Um, and yeah, I played every sport you could think of. I played water polo in like sixth and seventh grade. And then in high school again, I played basketball, football. What else did I play? I played hockey when I was really little. But yeah, like those were like water polo, football, basketball, baseball, like my four that I was kind of a big fan of. I played soccer a little bit too, and I really wasn't very good at it or a fan of it. So
Well, now we got to ask, how did you get involved in water polo? I feel like that's a very niche sport to
yeah,
get into. How did that
yeah,
come to be?
it is very niche. But I had a well, I honestly, it's kind of a weird story. So in sixth and seventh grade, I'd quit baseball. I played like tournament baseball for I think 2 or 3 years now. I played baseball for like 2 or 3 years now. And I wasn't very good when I was younger at baseball. And so I was kind of tired of not being good at baseball. And I was like, you know what, I think I want to be done with this and I want to go play something else. And my dad was like, all right, like you can stop playing baseball, but you're not going to just sit at home. Like you're going to go find something else to do. And I believe that the reason why I got into it was one of my really good friends, I'm still friends with to this day, played water polo at that time. He got me into it. And I started playing water polo and it's hard, but I fell in love with it pretty early. And then when I got to high school, I wasn't going to play football anymore, so I played water polo.
I love it. I love it. So you talk about kind of playing some different sports. You walked away from baseball for just a little bit.
Yeah.
At what point did you really feel like baseball was the sport that you wanted to focus on?
Um, Junior, senior year around there. I mean, it was almost like identical with when I started getting recruited. So like junior year was when I realized I was like, okay, I can actually probably do something with this baseball thing, like at least college wise. And it was kind of weird at that point. I didn't really have any interest or not aspiration, I guess, but like I just want to play college baseball. I wasn't really thinking professionally. Um, but yeah, it was like junior year, right when I started to get recruited is when I was like, okay, I mean, somebody these guys see something, I should probably look at my talents and see if I'm really, good enough to do this. And so that's right when I stopped playing water polo too. So I was a two sport. I played water polo and baseball my last 3 years of high, or my sophomore year and junior year, and then my senior year I just played baseball because I decided that I needed to just focus on baseball. But until then, I was a two or three sport athlete.
On the diamond, was it always pitching for you?
No, actually, I was a catcher initially. I caught my freshman year, my sophomore year, a little bit my sophomore year, but I wasn't like a good catcher or anything. I was just had a good arm, and so they just threw me back there because I didn't couldn't throw strikes when I was that young. Um, but yeah, no, I was not a pitcher. I was never a good hitter, that's for sure. But like my junior or my sophomore year, junior year, is when I started pitching. And then when I wasn't pitching, I'd play first base. And then my senior year, I PO'd, but I was a catcher in first base before that, but never a great hitter. I didn't have a future in hitting.
Do you feel like your experience kind of behind the plate and understanding, how pitchers approach things? Obviously, you yourself a pitcher, but did that help
Yeah,
you? I'm sure it helped you as a catcher, helping your pitchers. But do you feel like as your careers, moved on and you've progressed, that a little bit of an understanding of how catchers look at things
for sure.
that helped you at all?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, because I wanted to, yeah. I mean, I wanted to catch at a high level. When I was that young, I thought I was gonna be a catcher. Like I thought that's what I was gonna do. So I took it pretty seriously, and I actually got the opportunity to catch a big leaguer at the time that was from my town. He needed somebody to catch him in the off season, so I would always catch his bullpens. And so, like seeing catching guys like that, and then catching in games and like calling games because our coach kind of let us call games. So yeah, it was a good experience because it kind of helped me, I guess, create that game IQ of like when to throw things and when not to throw things. Now I'm not going to sit here and act like I was the greatest pitch caller in the world, but like it did give me a little bit of perspective and it's helped me out, since then. It's helped me out to this day.
That's awesome. Who was that big leaguer that you were catching?
Travis Blackley. I don't know
Okay,
if you know that name, but lefty, pitched for the Oakland A's, for the Giants for a while. Uh, Mariners, maybe? Yeah. Good guy. Good guy from Australia.
that's awesome.
Really good guy.
That's awesome. Kind of talking about the big league level, was there a pitcher that you've kind of modeled your game after?
Oof. There's a few. I mean, definitely Nolan. I mean, Nolan Ryan. I didn't get to watch Nolan Ryan pitch, but Nolan Ryan, kind of his bulldog mentality, the way he kind of just went at guys. Um, my dad was a big Nolan Ryan guy, and so I kind of grew up watching, or kind of watching highlights and watching videos of Nolan Ryan. So definitely Nolan Ryan. And then kind of my generation's version of that would be Max Scherzer. And so I was always very attracted to Max Scherzer because he was kind of that bulldog guy coming at you, just overwhelming you with strikes, overwhelming you with, 4, 5, 6 different pitches. So those two kind of like mentality wise and like kind of attack wise, definitely. And then guys that I just like to pitch, I like to watch pitch. I mean, I like to watch Tim Lincecum a lot. I was a big Tim Lincecum guy. Matt Cain, Giants, obviously. Matt Cain, Brian Wilson, like all those kind of 2010, 2014 Giants pitchers, I was a huge fan of. But Scherzer and Ryan are probably like the foundation of mentality wise.
That Kane perfect game.
Unreal.
Remember everything about it?
Pretty much Gregor Blanco making that catch in the outfield. Joaquin Arias like stepping back, throwing the ball to first. Crazy. Crazy. That
That's
was awesome.
fantastic baseball. That
Yeah.
was fun to watch. I remember,
Yeah.
everything about that moment where I was, obviously didn't start, watching that game at the beginning, but then, seventh inning, it's still going on. That was
Yeah.
what I was turning on the TV for. So,
Yeah.
well, you mentioned, kind of that bulldog mentality. We're gonna go a different way, and I'm pretty sure you can guess where we're going with this. If you've been around with the broadcasts or consumed any of the content that we've done with Brayden, there's some bull riding stuff that has happened behind the scenes. Not necessarily you riding the bull, but talk to us a little bit about what happened. You and your sister own a bull.
Yes, sir. We do own a bull. Kind of a weird, long story, but I'll just give a little brief synopsis. So initially I'd explained this to you before, but I grew up wanting to be a bull rider, wanting to be a cowboy. I grew up on a cattle ranch in California, and yeah, I had this bull riding film of Tuff Hedeman, who's like my hero to this day, baseball player. I met Tuff Hedeman like 4 years ago, and it's the most nervous I've ever been in my life. Um, but he's a bull rider. He's like my hero. I'd watch this film every day. That's all I wanted to do was be a bull rider. and a cowboy. And then kind of growing up on the cattle ranch, I kind of got a little bit of a taste of that cowboy kind of lifestyle. But obviously wasn't riding bulls. And then I kind of got to high school and was 6'6" and was like, yeah, probably not gonna be a bull rider or anything of that nature. But so fast forwarding to COVID 2021 around that area, I was at the National Finals Rodeo with my sister and my family, and we were watching the bull riding competition. And me and my sister were kind of talking like, "Hey, it'd be kind of cool to own a bull. Like, I don't really know what it looks like or how to do it, but if we can figure it out, like, we'd be interested in purchasing a bull." And so my sister and I talked about it. And oddly enough, my sister owns a company called Ag Chicks, and she has people on, women on, talk about their experiences in agriculture and all this stuff. It's a really cool podcast. Well, she has this podcast with this lady who owns a company with a bucking bull company, and she like mentions to my sister that they have a bull for sale. And basically, they sell like a share of the bull of ownership. It's like a stock. You buy part of the bull, and then you have that percentage of ownership, and you get that percentage of the winnings every time it wins. So me and my sister buy a share, kind of, give them the money. And like, honestly, for me, I gave them the money, kind of just like completely forgot about it for like 3 years, 4 years. My sister would like very occasionally tell me about it. Um, she like update me like, hey, it's, doing this or it's here. And, I was like, okay, like whatever. We weren't making any money off it because I wasn't in the PBR yet. And then randomly one day, like, I don't know, what was it, a month ago, a month and a half ago, um, I see a picture of the bull that we own on the PBR like Instagram, and I'm like, what the heck is this? I text my sister. She's like, oh yeah, like our bull's in the PBR now. Like, isn't that crazy? And I was like, what the heck? So I kind of looked into it. I'm like, yeah, that's our bull. And so our bull's bucking in the PBR now, and so it's pretty cool. It's wild. Like we didn't really think about it when we bought it, but like it's cool to own a bucking bull that is in the PBR.
Yeah, no, that's super neat. And I remember with the kind of the first conversations that we had about it, that was, right towards, I think it was homestand one or maybe homestand two here,
Yeah.
very early in your affiliated career.
Mhm.
What a whirlwind of a couple of weeks there. You make
Yeah.
your affiliated debut, and then you find out you've got a bull in the PBR. So,
Yeah, yeah, it's
um,
pretty crazy.
let's talk a little bit about that debut for you. You made
Hmm.
your true affiliated debut on the road in Charleston in game one of the season. You made it on opening night. Talk to me about the emotions leading up to that evening.
It was it was I'm 24, so like I've played some baseball, and so I didn't really know. I thought kind of I'd be a little more. I mean, I was stoked the whole time, but like I didn't know. I didn't think it was gonna affect me like it did. Um, but I remember like putting on my uniform for the first time, and like I mean we'd put our uniform on for picture and stuff, but like put my uniform on and like kind of went in the mirror and got my jersey ready, and I like saw the sleeve and it had the Cubs uniform on, or Cubs logo on it, and I was like, "Ooh," like I kind of got chills. I was like, that's pretty wild to look at. And then I remember kind of going back into the locker room and like putting my headphones in, and sitting there and just being like, just thinking about everything that I had been through. And it was like I didn't get emotional, but like there was, I could have, if I would have let my mind wander, I probably definitely could have gotten a little emotional. And and then when we got out to the field, I remember walking out to the field for the first time and like turning around, like taking it in. Obviously, I'm not in the big leagues or anything, but like turning around and like taking it in before I go sit in the bullpen was like, and it was packed too. I was like, okay, this is different than any ball. Like when we go on the road, I don't expect crowds like this in any ball. And then the last kind of time that it really hit me was during the national anthem. We were sitting there during national anthem, we were standing, and I got chills and was like getting teary eyed or whatever, just like thinking about everything I'd been through. And I'm not normally like a super outwardly emotional guy, but it was like just kind of hit me. It was like, dang, I haven't made it, but like I kind of made it a little bit. And then yeah, it was just kind of a emotional like just a really cool emotional experience. Um, yeah, I mean, and then going into the game, I was definitely like amped up. Like I didn't think I was gonna be, but yeah, I was fired up. I was pretty amped up.
All right. A couple of quick hitting questions, then we'll let you go.
Okay.
Do you have any game day superstitions?
The only superstition that I have is I double knot my right cleat and then I single knot my left cleat. I don't know why. I started doing that in high school and I've just never changed.
Love it. Cheat day go to food.
Ooh, I gotta go. I love wings. I love wings. Yeah. Probably like wings, burger, I don't know, anything. Wings probably.
Sweet, sweet. Do you have a favorite wing spot just ever?
I mean, on the road, Wingstop.
Okay.
Wingstop. Yeah. I mean, yeah, Wingstop. Because
I
it's
don't know how much.
everywhere, so I can DoorDash it from anywhere.
There you go. There you
Yeah.
go. I don't know how much exploring you've been able to do. I know the season's really busy, but here in Myrtle Beach, have you found a favorite food spot here?
Um, Riptides.
Riptides?
Riptides. Oh yeah. Do they have like 2 pounds of Dungeness crab? I honestly like me and a couple of teammates have gone like 3 consecutive Mondays and like just crushed seafood. So yeah, Riptides is the spot.
That's awesome. What has been your favorite road trip to this point?
I like Annapolis a lot, but I think my favorite place I've been to is Augusta. That stadium was sweet. It was new and it was kind of like built to where like the stands were. It wasn't like a huge stadium, but the stands were straight up and it was like right on top of you. It was electric. I liked it there.
Awesome. In terms of the road trip itself, you hop on the bus. What are you doing? Are you working? You listening to a podcast? You got music? Are you sleeping? Are you participating in a game with the guys? What's going on when you get on the
Oh,
bus?
initially, like usually what happens is I'll be sitting next to like Cole Reynolds or Kirkpatrick or whatever, and like we'll talk about like nothing important for like an hour, and then we'll all get bored, and then we'll all lay down, and I'll usually put like a YouTube video on or like a podcast or something. So usually like initially starts out we'll talk and like kind of screw around with each other, and then after that I'll put my headphones in or whatever and watch a YouTube video or something like that.
Any no mafia or anything going on like that on the pitch bus?
We haven't had any mafia this year. It's hard because we're split up into two buses. So all the position guys are on one bus and then we're all on the other bus. And the position guys are definitely like the crazier group. And so that I know they're always playing and like they're doing stuff. Um, I know that because they're on our bus this week and they're wild. But yeah, we're split up. So like usually we're like everyone just like lays down and wants to go to bed or whatever. But honestly, I think I might try to get Mafia rolling now that you mentioned it. I haven't even thought about it till just now.
There we go. There we go. All right. Last thing. If you weren't working in baseball, what would you be doing for work?
That's a question and a half. I'd probably, ooh, I don't know. I'd probably be doing something in agriculture or like a hunting guide or like a fishing guide or something like that. Cause like that's other than baseball, it's like my true kind of passion is hunting and fishing and just kind of being outdoors. And so it'd probably be something of that nature, living out in the middle of nowhere and like taking guys on hunts and stuff. That's probably what I would do.
That's awesome. Braden, this has been so much fun. We really appreciate your time and enjoy the rest of the trip.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. This was fun. Got to do it more often.
100%. Enjoy the rest of the trip. For Brayden Spears, I'm Luke Moehle saying thanks for hanging out with us here in episode one of 2025's edition of Road Trip Ramblings. We hope to catch you next time. And as always, go Birds.
Go Birds.